Hello everyone, and welcome back to 4KB Shorts Let's Play of BioShock 2. We're on our way to go see Dr. Tenenbaum. It's not creepy or anything. Oh, hey sis. Not happy with me, it seems. Possibly calling friends. That's never a good sign.
Quickly, head for the elevator.
Okay. Now I want to give you guys a heads up. I did figure out the problem with the controls, and I have since fixed them. It turns out I did not have my third-party error, or my third-party gamepad support unplugged. So what ended up happening is I was basically hitting two buttons simultaneously without realizing it. Alright, in this case we just have to run. Very quickly we have to run. Ow, 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 ow. See, this is one of those moments where the enemies are infinite. Even though the music doesn't really denote the intense danger. It's very passive music. I find that very odd, but it is very devil mask. But anyway, it's very passive music. They're shooting at me. Even though it's supposed to be a high intense situation.
Now, here is what the children tell me. You are a very old Big Daddy, bonded for life to a single little one. When you are apart for too long, your body begins to shut down like a coma. As long as the girl is in the rapture, you are trapped here as well. The name of your little one is Eleanor Lamb, daughter of Sophia. She is kept at Fontaine Futuristics on the other side of the city. You must go there and save her before it is too late.
I'm not sure what too late means, because as long as she's in the city and I'm in the city, I'm alive. It's a proximity sensor. It's not like she's going to explode. I hope. Later on they explain what too late means. Hey, welder buddy. He didn't quite make it. A nice demonstration of the trap bolt, which is something we have to deal with. So now we're out of the underground, we're out of the maintenance area, and we're back up to where civilization is supposed to be. So we have bigger windows and a nicer view of the city, which is very pretty with all the fish and everything. Another Vita chamber. Ooh, trap bolts. Take a few of those. Like a splicer. So yeah, now I can choose what I take off of the walls and whatnot. Before, when I was hitting A, since my third-party software was online, what ended up happening is every time I would hit like the A button, it would think I was hitting it twice. That's what was going on there. So I will be able to not drink too much anymore and get drunk and all that stuff. Looks like a murder-suicide. She shot him and then shot herself, although the blood around her is way too heavy for that. Let's see, grab that. Sinclair Solutions, Protector Munitions, 60mm sensor release trap rivets. Break some of those open. Improving on Suchong's work. So this is the guy who was in the photograph, whose name I don't know. And this is the guy who replaced Suchong.
Dr. Suchong's death was a nasty blow to the Protector program, but I'm gradually settling into his role, picking up the slack that his carelessness left behind. We are gaining steam again, but I'm not satisfied. Yes, the Big Daddy defends the girl, but he is programmed only for the fight. Like a sheepdog who wanders off unless a wolf is tearing at his flock. When no aggressor is present, he regards his little sister as he might a common houseplant. We need something more, something stronger, an unbreakable physiological bond.
Yeah, so there's Gil, and he was, he took over for Suchong, and he took over from where the Big Daddy would help to save the little sister, as Suchong so aptly demonstrated in his last moments. And then they had to figure out how to keep the Big Daddy near the little sister. So here's our progression through the game right here. We have Atlantic Express Depot. It goes to Ryan Amusements. From there to Popper's Drop, which is scratched in there, it looks like. And then Dionysus Park and Fontaine Futuristics. And then something down there which has no name. Probably the end of the line.
I used to be famous. I did. Don't you believe me?
Sure, I believe you. We're gonna make you famous again, too. Check it out. Look! You're famous! I love the splicers. We're gonna take a moment to look at the splicers. Look at the splicers. They are so much more creepy than previous. And I think I may have pointed this out previously, but you can't get enough of this. I mean, Even her foot, look at her foot, like her foot has started to mold itself to look like the heel on her right foot. And then she's just all warped and ugh, gross. Ah, button. Let's hit the button. Dr. Tenenbaum, you look very old and unhappy.
You see? This is why I must fight Sophia Lamb. She is using the new little ones for something. And I have returned to rescue them. If I do not, more children will die for my sins. And the Rapture nightmare, it will repeat forever. Now, we must talk.
Citizens of Rapture, this is Subject Delta. Behind that mask hides an enemy of the people, without soul or sympathy. It is a beast apart, and as family, we must tear out its jaw and drive it back into the sea.
Okay.
Lamb will take this place apart to find you. Please hold back the splicers until we escape.
Alright, Tenenbaum. Now, if you guys take a look, and you may want to rewind the video if you didn't notice it before, but if you guys take a look at Tenenbaum's right arm, you see something there that you did not see in BioShock 1, and I think it's totally awesome that they included it, and it's very important for her character. And, I'm not going to spoil it by telling you what it is. You guys will have to figure it out for yourself, but I will tell you that the little sister, like, touched her at the point. So, out of the way, little buddy. Ooh, we got stuck in the wall. Taser up. Ow! Whoa, what they hit me with? Rivet bolts. Ow. Not now! Dude. There's still another one out there. I guess I could have used a trap bolt to be smart about it. But that works instead. Getting shot some more. See, now this is intense music. Did you lose him? Lost him. More rivets. Oh, they blew up the medical bed. There you go.
Thank you. Now I must leave you, and I am sorry for this. But there are others I must help before the city drowns. This man Sinclair, he is an ally, and will guide you to Eleanor. Goodbye, Herr Delta.
Goodbye,
And
Dr.
good luck.
Tenenbaum. So Tenenbaum is out, and now we get Sinclair.
Well, look at you. A bona fide knight in armor, complete with iron horse. The name's Augustus Sinclair, Sport, Esquire. Old Tenenbaum and I share an interest in the old Fontaine building, the very same place you'll find Eleanor Lamb. I think you and I can do business. Take the train to Ryan Amusements. I'll see you shortly.
So that is Sinclair, Southern, probably kind of a scumbag. I don't really remember 100%, but I'm pretty sure he is not 100% on our side. But then again, he seems like the kind of guy who would be on his own side, so I don't blame him for that, at least. At least he sticks with his character in that regard. But he does have that slimy feeling about him, which is really interesting.
Sophia Lamb has taken the Rapture and is responsible for stealing children from the surface. Her splicers destroyed my submersible and forced me to run. But the ticket booth here is secure, and though I cannot trust him, Sinclair is a valuable ally. I have already rescued a few of the new little ones from Lamb. They all want to know how we will get home. I wish I had the right words for them.
Yeah, so even Tenenbaum's a little bit like, I'm not trusting of Sinclair, so makes sense. He just has that kind of personality. Reliable pharmacy, drugs, canned goods, much more. We are qualified to help you with nitrogen narcosis. And I love that. I love that they added nitrogen narcosis to that. And for anybody who doesn't know, nitrogen narcosis is when you have too much nitrogen in your blood. It's also called the bends, and it causes lots of different physical ailments. I think it's like diarrhea, joint pain. I think there's even some side effects that may kill you if they're not treated after a while. But basically, what it is a buildup of nitrogen in the bloodstream, and it happens when people go diving. So like when you dive really, really deep, because under high pressure, oxygen becomes toxic to the human body. You have to mix it with nitrogen. And when nitrogen gets into the bloodstream and you have to come back to the surface, you have to go through decompression so that the nitrogen leaves your body slowly. Otherwise, of course, it gets into your, it causes all the massive issues with the bends. And it's really cool that they added that to that poster. They're like, hey, we can help you with your nitrogen narcosis. Because it kind of puts a scientific edge to this, because down here, people you think, oh, they're just breathing air, but they couldn't be. They'd have to be breathing a mixture of oxygen and some other gas that isn't toxic. And of course, after a while, you'd start to get sick. You'd start to feel ill, and so they'd have to put you like in a pressure tank or in like a pressurized room where the pressure is equal to, well, basically it's a decompression chamber. Every once in a while you'd have to go through decompression, and it's really interesting. So it's possible that medical center actually has decompression chambers that they have you stand in to help you with your nitrogen narcosis. And it's really cool that they added that. But here we are in the tram. This is our transport between areas. Not the same as the bubbles. And it's not the same as the bubbles because you can't go back. If you notice, the tram only has one direction it can go, which is really unfortunate, because once you leave an area, if you miss something, like say if we missed the dialogue that was sitting over there, we wouldn't be able to come back and find it, so we'd miss out on a lot of the story. Now, they could have put it to where you could go back. I don't see why it would have been so hard to have a tram that goes both ways. I mean, we have them today, why not? But unfortunately, they did not do that. So every time we find one of these trams and we move forward, we will be unable to return. So we're going to hopefully not miss anything. I'm going to try my best not to miss anything for you guys. Especially cool things like talking about nitrogen narcosis and stuff like that. Don't shoot trap rivets directly at enemies. Fire them at floors and walls to set deadly traps. There's a trap! Oh, please, like you guys didn't think I was going to do that. I try not to, though. I try to keep my memes down to a minimum. Search containers throughout Rapture to find ammo, cash, and other useful supplies. So as Tenenbaum said, she's no longer our guide. Now it's Sinclair.
Whoa there. Now better apply the brakes unless you're aiming to dash yourself against that glacier up ahead.
The thought had crossed my mind, Sinclair. So as I said, not really a trustworthy guy, kind of slimy, most likely from the south, from Louisiana, probably the kind of type of person who would run a pawn
As you
shop.
can see, Chief, the station here's iced over. To reach Eleanor Lamb at Fontaine headquarters, we'll have to clear the way. Now, in order to melt that ice, you'll need a plasmid, like a handful of hellfire. We used to sell a fine old product called Incinerate in the amusement park up yonder. Go on and find a way in. I've already been on all the rides.
So Sinclair most likely either runs or worked at Ryan Amusements. Most likely, considering his temperament, he ran it. He may not own it, but he ran it. Like I said, he may seem like the kind of guy who is who ran a pawn shop and then moved up through the ranks of money by pawning things to and from people, and probably a little bit of smuggling on the side. That seems like his kind of deal. So he's like a gray market kind of guy, kind of trustworthy, but not really. So we're gonna have to keep our eye on him. And here we have the city. We have some three-dimensional buildings, very tiny three-dimensional buildings, and then in the background we have just the image. And as you can see, Rapture is not doing 100%. Lots of chunks of buildings falling apart and falling out. The signs are falling apart. No one here to keep them up. No one here to keep them running. And that's one of the cool things that I really wanted to point out between BioShock 1 and 2, of course, because in BioShock 1, the city's basically intact. It's only been a few years, and there are still people who live there, even though they're all splicers and crazy. And then you have the big D's like fixing it up and whatnot, and but as time went on, 10 years passed, stuff's gonna start to fall apart. There's no question about that. And because of that, they did show it in the outside, which is great. And they have places like this where people just come to sleep. Sometimes this is a Meltzer area, but this one does not have one of Meltzer's dialogue, so I'm gonna just assume it's a splicer. Hop Up Cola since 1949, now more caffeine than ever. Put the pep back in your step. I'd rather have some Nuka-Cola if it's all the same to you. Presto, it's mealtime. Frozen dinner. Step 1, heat. Step 2, eat. Yes, folks, in 2 simple steps you can have a good square meal. Oh boy! Mr. Square Meal. Yeah, because it's always good to eat something that has a friendly face, as the dill pickle guy likes to explain. We will be reborn. She is our salvation. Butterfly head. Like pumpkin head. Oh, We're all full up on health. New diary.
Eleanor is progressing brilliantly. My physical participation in her birth was minimized, of course. It is vital that I am unhindered by nature's crude bias. I will be, above all, her intellectual progenitor, loyal not to her, but to the people she will ultimately save. But I admit, it is with some measure of pride that I review her marks in standard intelligence tests. As an agent of our beliefs, she may surpass even me.
So Sophia Lamb, a social psychiatrist, a socialist, and a world of capitalists, worst kind of thing ever. Basically the exact opposite of what Ryan is.
Welcome to Ryan Amusements. Insert your ticket now. Half price for children under 3.
Well, that's cool. Am I under 3? No, I'm over 10 years old. Well, I don't have a ticket, so we're not going to worry about that. But yeah, she's basically the exact opposite of Andrew Ryan, where he's an every man for himself kind of person, and stab you in the back if you can. Rapture Museum, this way to progress. Must see. Sophia Lamb is the exact opposite. She is a socialist. She's a everyone for everyone else. El Dorado Lounge. And because of that, of course, she's basically the devil to Ryan. To Ryan, she is everything that is wrong with the world. She's a socialist. She's a sharer. You know, she's a person who wants to. What he called him, a parasite? Yeah, she's basically a parasite leader.
You're a rare old model, son. Alpha series, I believe. Now, Rapture's full of scientific wonderments just like you. And if we can sell them to the world at my price, well, curing your condition ought to be a cakewalk. Once we find Eleanor, the sky's the limit.
That's a very pretty weapon. Yeah, so Sinclair just basically made his wishes known. He wants to sell the fruits of Rapture's labor to the people of the surface. But of course, we all know how that would turn out. Imagine this up top. Armies of splicers, you know? Wars upon wars upon wars. Alright, so we have rivet gun, drill fuel, or drill damage. I think we're just going to do drill damage to start with. Upgraded weapon, which adds those little spiny bits there. I'm not sure how they do damage, but they do damage, so we're okay with it. Oop, I broke the TV. I'm a bad man. So yeah, Sinclair just basically said what he wants to do, which is to sell everything to the surface. So we know where he stands, at least. Which is kind of a good thing, to know that he stands, that is his stance. What do we got?
I was hired to engineer a park the likes of which no man has seen. Now all I do is watch over it like a grizzled sheepdog. My first line of mechanical puppets made the children here cool with wonder. But Ryan thought my vision was immature. Antiquated, he said. This place could have been something magical. But instead, he turned it into a school. No, a cathedral. Dedicated to himself.
So Carlson Fiddle. Hey, little sis.
Can I come out to play again, Mr. B?
We're gonna have to deal with him later. I like how they still make the big daddies look ominous. Even though you are a big daddy, you're basically pair, you know? You and they are equals, and yet they still make them look ominous. Because they kind of are. I mean, the tuss-ups you get into in the first game are scary.
Jam dandy. That'll get you in the park. But buying Incinerate's gonna cost Adam. It's a sort of genetic goo that lets you rewrite whatever God gave you. The little sisters carry the stuff, as you may recall, so you'll need to locate one. I heard whispering near the El Dorado Lounge. Have a look.
So, Carlson Fiddle, and I'll go back to my original thought, Carlson Fiddle designed an amusement park for kids, and then Ryan came by and was like, this doesn't teach them anything. And turned it into a,
Get yourselves hid! No fuck-ups this time!
yeah, what the hell's wrong with you guys? Time for a fight. So let's fight. Can't really run.
Hey, gang! Fire! Come on! You bastard!
That's not the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted. Anybody alive? Looks like the answer to that question is no. Yeah, see? That's what happens when you guys screw up. Get it right next time. What's wrong with you? Oh, that's fun. So yeah, he built an amusement park for kids, and then Ryan took it over, and Ryan's like, it's gotta teach them about how evil the surface is, and so he basically turned it into a propaganda machine, is what Fiddle was saying. And of course, Fiddle, being the kind of guy he is, was not able to change it or to do any other kind of job. This basically became his job. To all trains, lobby, park security, souvenirs, Hall of the Future, Journey to the Surface, and El Dorado Lounge. So we're headed to the El Dorado Lounge, I guess, so we'll head that way. And then some of the tracks for Journey to the Surface. It's a very nicely designed level, honestly. I really love the design of this level.
I am Andrew Ryan. Welcome to Ryan Amusements. Please, enjoy the park.
Will do, Andrew Ryan. Thank you. Free sample. Get more at the Hall of Future. The Hall of the Future? Hall of the Future. My bad. Sports Boost. You have picked up your first gene tonic. Tonics are passive abilities that have a variety of helpful effects. Unlike plasmids, you never have to activate tonics. They take effect as soon as you equip them. In today's dangerous times, it never hurts to be a little faster. Remember, you don't have to outrun the Cray Splicer, just your neighbor. I really do like this one, because Sports Boost does help you move a little bit faster. Sports Boost Plus, of course, helps you move lots faster. Another sign tells us where we need to go. Same thing here. Ammunition. That is awesome. I do love the minigun, I guess you can call it. The rotary cannon, we'll call it. And then we have the history. I love this. I really do love this about BioShock 2, that you really don't get it in BioShock 1. The entire history of, well, with the crappy music in the background, but the history of Rapture. And I love these little audio plays. Dreaming Rapture.
Andrew Ryan wakes one night while cruising the Atlantic in his steamliner, the Olympian. His sleep interrupted with a singular purpose. Here, he shouts to his crewmen as he wipes sleep from his eyes. Full stop. We begin building here.
See, now the question is how did he know here? And I'm going to kind of play the devil's advocate here as well, like with the fireflies underwater. But how did he know there was a thermal vent in this area, in his sleep, mind you, in his sleep? He wasn't monitoring anything, but did they just stop in the middle of the Atlantic? It's like, we're going to build here. Did he not, figure out how to do a power thing, or did he just say someone else will figure that out? That seems kind of like what Ryan would do. He'd be like, well, if I don't know, someone else will figure it out. But then again, this place is about propaganda, so of course I'm pretty sure he was probably sitting in his cabin and some guy came by and said, hey, there's a heat signature, and he's like, oh, we gotta stop here and do the readings and whatnot. So, you gotta take it for what it is propaganda-ish. So, traveling the distance.
Refitted for heavy construction, the Olympian returns with a new cargo. A state-of-the-art submersible platform, nicknamed the Sinker, ferries supplies and workers to the sea floor, fathoms below.
Now look at the scale of that thing. Those are some divers there, and those are like transport crates. This thing was huge. You know how expensive that would be? That'd be like hugely expensive to build, and yet they did it. Haha. And of course we do, well, not yet. We're going to talk about that here on this one. So laying the foundation.
After initial supplies have been brought to the seafloor, the platform is permanently moored in the sediment. Massive iron girders are sunk hundreds of feet into the rock and silt. Below the platform, engineers work to overcome obstacles such as diamond-hard rock, obstinate sea life, and unexpected cavalry.
So, what are the chances, and so I was about to talk about, what are the chances are that's going to be our escape vehicle from Rapture? Because it is sitting down there, it is fully functional, it does have floaters. It's got Atlas standing on top of it, unfortunately. But hey, you know what? We can always fix that problem. Ah, the great chain moves us all. Alright, I'm not going to listen to that audio log just yet. I want to tell you guys something before we do this audio log. This is... Now... Well... Let's go ahead and listen to this one, then I'll talk about it. Rapture grows.
After the platform is secured, work progresses at an astounding rate. Designed to be the foundation of Rapture, workers toil around the clock to create the metropolis you see today.
You go, workers! Anyway, so with this audio log, I want to tell you guys that there are a lot of sub-stories. A lot of sub-stories in BioShock 2. A lot of stories about the individual people, and I love those. They didn't really have them in BioShock 1. They had a couple, but they have a few more here in BioShock 2. But this one is one of the saddest to me, and I just want to kind of give you guys a heads up on that before we start.
I love the kids in Miss Englert's third grade class, but boy, I had no idea what I was getting into. Volunteering to chaperone this New Year's sleepover party at Ryan Amusements. Donnie. Donnie, get down off that exhibit. And I told you, spit out that gum. You'll choke. The kids' parents deserve a night off to enjoy New Year's, but I'm at my wit's end. Donnie, I told you.
So yeah, Nina Carnegie is her name, and she is one of my favorite and one of the saddest sub-stories in BioShock 2, and we will get into why and how that is as we progress. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that I might be a little bit emotional later on in the game when we come to the end of her tale. Probably not, but it is an option. Alright, we have some more, ow.
Until you arrive, Father, I'm trapped here. Smuggling these gifts out is the most I can do to help.
It looks like somebody died here and was wrapped up. That's creepy. I've never noticed that before, that somebody is dead in that makeshift bed there. Upsetting, to say the least. So Eleanor has given us more stuff. Hope this helps. Aw, how cute. And more fireflies. Drill power. Prefer your combat up close and personal? Hell yeah! With drill power, your drill attacks do more damage. Sweet! So we upgraded our drill to do more damage, then we get that. Eat dog.
In ethical psychiatry, we must account for...
Eleanor Lamb speaking. Mum says I'm not to play with the other children because they're being raised on a diet of dog-eat-dog. I wanted to see these dog-eaters, so I waited until Mum was gone and went out to find one. And guess what? The dog-eaters wear human skins. It makes them look just like us.
So Eleanor is a small child before she got turned into a little sister, I'm sure. There's a little sister ahead. To get the atom, you must deal with her big daddy first. He will not attack until you do, but be prepared for a difficult fight. On hard mode? Hell yeah! So let's hack this bot. He'll do more damage this way. Sweet! So we got a bot hack. There's no security camera, I don't think, around here. Whoop.
Now that big daddy won't bite until you do. But to get to Lil Sis, you gotta put the old boy down for good.
Okay, well we'll do that here in a minute, but let's go ahead and listen to some more stuff. Mark.
I found one of those children at last. Filthy dress, all alone. I approached her, praying that it was my little girl. But she was gorging herself on blood from a corpse. It wasn't her. I stared, just reeling. And then that skinny, armored freak that took Cindy jumped me, shrieking like an animal. I escaped, but could Cindy have become one of those things? I've got to find her, now more than ever.
You go, Mark. And we go too. Hey, Big D, we're just gonna go ahead and use some of our handy ammo here. I think he's gonna try to take my bot out. Ah, this thing jumps like crazy. Take it! Haha! Oh, I missed that one. Ow! I think he took my bot out. He did! Back off, Big D. Just kind of keep him at bay for the moment. We have to move. Ow. Come on. Ah, we win.
Take a breath, son. You did it.
Thank you.
Now, just let her ride on your shoulders and she'll trust you like her own daddy.
See, now this is where BioShock 1 and BioShock 2 really differ.
Always safe with Daddy.
So, short-term memory loss right there. She's crying over Big D because I just killed him. Turns around, sees me, and she's like, "Hey, Big D, you're alive!" That's probably part of their programming. If you remember, of course, the mental programming. I do love bulletproof glass, I really do.
We're in business. Now, there are corpses all over Rapture, and little Dimples there can sniff out the atom on them. Find one.
Pain Drain Aspirin. Heal pain relief. Well, it also gives you a little bit of Eve, too, which is odd. Bump. It didn't short out like the other one did. If you guys remember from the lounge in BioShock 1, it would short out if you bumped it. We're not coming back here, so of course I'm gonna pop those. I will save any ones that we need, but for now we don't really need any, so we're just gonna like leave that. We're gonna buy one of those, I think, just for safety purposes. I'm gonna take one last look around the room. Now, I do have to remember I have a little sister on my back. I tend to forget that because I'm just running around killing things, so I tend to forget that she's back there. But what's really, really great is it has been time, so we did get a lot done. We got ourselves a little sister, which is great, and we'll start gathering Adam here in the next video. So, once again, I would like to thank you all very much for joining me, 4KB Short, on this Let's Play of BioShock 2. And I will see you next video.